Hello, friends. Continuing with our episodes on product strategy, we do the third episode today. As we've discussed in the last two episodes, crafting a winning product strategy requires a multifaceted approach. It starts right from the product vision up to the product execution and the continuous improvement thereafter. The product vision needs to be something that is unique and transformative. It is one that is inspiring, which is shared by all the stakeholders, which is ethical, it is concise, it is ambitious, and it is enduring. All of these factors need to be taken into account when developing a product vision, which leads to a product strategy. This visionary foundation, the product vision that is the base of your product strategy, that foundation then needs to be tightly connected so that the company's overall objectives are met and it becomes an enduring strategic alignment. Having said all this, product strategy is not a static exercise. Okay, it involves carefully balancing different types of innovation initiatives, which you should be doing continuously on a regular basis, because that is going to be the key driver of your strategic growth. The product progresses through many life cycles, as we all know, and continuous refinement is going to be essential for the product strategy to give you the maximum success. So, an important factor in your product strategy is that of effective stakeholder engagement. All the product leaders must ensure that there is a buy-in from all the stakeholders, and those product leaders and the product team should use the collective expertise that all the stakeholders bring to the table. At times, it might feel redundant, saying, what would a finance guy know about a tech product? Or what would a tech guy know about jewelry? But you will be surprised when you start talking to them and get their viewpoints. So you have to use the collective expertise of all the stakeholders. But you need to keep in mind at all times the foundational elements of your product strategy, which is your product vision, product ethics, product everything that we just spoke of. Now, product managers and their teams, using all this data, all these inputs that they get from all the various stakeholders, can craft the best and a winning strategy that will deliver lasting profits and impact the valuation of the company and the organization that we are talking of. So a product strategy is essentially a blueprint. Okay, it is a high-level plan that outlines your vision for success for the organization. Okay. Whether it's a service or whether it's a physical product, that is immaterial. Okay. In all cases, it is the product strategy, no matter what your product is, I reiterate that, which is going to be the key factor that is going to drive your organization to success. And a roadmap that is apt for this product strategy is one that will answer certain crucial questions when it comes to product development and product vision. And the first and foremost, who is your target audience? If you don't know your target audience, for whom are you building the product? What are the challenges that, or what are the desires of the target audience is it going to cater to? So you need to know your target audience and know them well. And then you need to, knowing your target audience, knowing their needs, knowing their desires, knowing what solutions they want, you need to make sure that your product fulfills those requirements. So the need for the product to fulfill the requirement is paramount. And then at the end of the day, you might find that there is similar product already available in the market. And therefore, you are going to have to decide and incorporate into the product plan what are the features that will set it apart. And you need to have them well defined and well included in your communication to your customers. And as I've said before, all of us are in the business of making money. We are not a charity. Okay. Having said that, if we are not a charity, we need to make money. And therefore, your product strategy should definitely benefit your business and take care of its goals. You should be able to cater to the overall strategy of the business. Having said all this, it logically follows that your product blueprint needs to address certain key elements. And I am listing 4 of the key elements that are of primary importance for your product blueprint to be effective. The first one is defining your target market. You have to specify who are going to be the users and customers for your product. Whom is it designed for? And you need to understand the unique needs and pain points of your target audience and their desires. Some people will buy your product, depending on the category you are in, only because it boosts their ego. That's a need of the customer. If you're designing a product for say, the senior citizens, and you have very small keys and where the senior citizen is going to find it difficult to tap in anything, does that help? So you need to understand your customer, your target audience very, very well. And there will be times when you will have to add features or create models of your product so that it targets the needs of various customers. So target market understanding is the first need. And you need to know all the unique needs that your customer has. The second is the value proposition. There has to be a well-defined proposition to the customers, which tells them why they should buy your product. What is the value that they were going to get by buying and using your product? Now, to make sure that this communication is well established, you need to define the core values that your product is offering. It can be something as simple as large keys for a mobile phone, which is specially designed for the senior citizens. Okay. So you need to define those core values that your product brings to the table as far as the customer is concerned. You need to explain, even if your core value defines it, you need to explain what is the problem that it solves. Somebody may not straight away register big key phone. No, it may not really click. So you need to explain what problem it solves and what are the benefits that it provides to your target audience. It needs to be spelled out, but needs to be spelled out in a nice, polished way. It should not sound as though you are thinking that the reader is an imbecile or that you're bragging too much. You need to balance yourself. The third important factor is that you have to have differentiating features. If you are going to offer everything that the next door manufacturer is offering, what is it that is going to make the customer choose your product over his? There is no compelling reason. But when you have features that differentiate you from the product, it can be as simple as the design and color of the product, going up to the after sales service, the entire pipeline. What are the features? How easy is it to use? Various things. Now, these differentiating factors are the ones that are going to be judged by your target audience and then say, okay, these are the features I think are going to help me over and above the standard features that the other product is offering. That other product becomes standard features. You are going way above that. So you need to have those differentiating features. There may be 2, there may be 3, there may be 5. You need to pinpoint those. And you need to, again, explain the benefits and tell them what problem that feature is going to solve or how is it going to help them make life easier. This is something. And at the end of the day, once again, come back to the fact that we are a business and not a charity. The business objectives need to be met by the product strategy. So your strategic goals should be completely and entirely in sync with what the company wants to achieve. Whether it is revenue generation, whether it is brand equity, whether it is valuation for the company, or whatever else it is. But it needs to match with the business objectives of the organization. Having said all of this, it is important to recognize that the product strategy is dependent on various cycles of your product life. The strategy cannot be the same when you are launching a product or when you are tweaking on a continuous basis and improving the product, or due to whatever reason you are overhauling the product completely. So product strategies are going to change as you move into different stages of the product life cycle. And product strategies, therefore, need to be agile and adaptable. So let us look at what are the 3 primary product cycle stages that one would need to consider when developing a product strategy. And as they say, let's start at the very beginning. So the first thing is when you are doing a new product development and the launch for the same. When you're doing this, a major part, a very critical part of your product strategy is going to be the market research. What I like to call as pre-research. Before you even start thinking about the product design or the product features, you need to do a foundation research of your target audience. And that is the first step that goes into product design and product development. This pre-launch research, so to say, is going to help you because that data, that information is going to be the rock bottom base of a very solid and insightful understanding of what your product and thereby your product strategy should be. It will define for you the needs and desires of your target audience. And thereby, it will help you to think of the right features you need to satisfy the needs and desires of that target audience. And it will help you to create the right value proposition for your product. It will help you to identify and then include in your product specs what are the features and USPs that your product needs to have, or you should ideally design for. Okay? And you need to plan how the strategy will fulfill the overall business objectives. As I keep repeating, there is no way that a product strategy can ignore the business objectives of the organization. The second stage, which I consider important, although it doesn't happen as regularly as the third stage that we will talk of, is substantial product overhaul. It's not just tweaking or adding a small feature here or there. It's not like that software update which is taking care of just bugs, but it's that software update that is introducing new features which is going to make the way you use your phone or laptop or whatever it is where you're updating your software, your EV or anything else. It is going to be a substantial overhaul. It involves rethinking all the core elements of your original product strategy. For all you know, most of your old product strategy is not relevant when you are doing this substantial overhaul. And you might want to have a straight, brand new strategy. Fair enough. But where are you going to start from? You are going to start from your current strategy because you know that is not giving you the desired results, or that you can offer much more than what that strategy is offering. It's not always about not getting the desired result, but it's about the fact that you can definitely get far better results. Okay. So it starts with a detailed look at the current product strategy. And that needs to be tied in. That needs to be compared and what shall we call it? It needs to be judged and evaluated with what is the customer feedback and reactions that you have been getting in your product as of that time. So you need the current feedback and reactions of your customers and the markets. The markets may be changing. They're always evolving. The customers' choices are changing. The customers' wants are changing. The customers' ethical standards are changing. And all of these things will need to reflect when you do a substantial overhaul. And if they're small ones, then it's something that you will do on a permanent basis, which we will look at in 2 minutes. After having all this data, what is the current strategy and what is the feedback you are getting vis-a-vis that, and vetting of everything, you are now ready to sit down and brainstorm. Pretty much like when you were doing the product design for a new product, you need to brainstorm. You need to identify what are the changes that you want to bring about. What are the new features you need to introduce so that your customer will get a better experience, or your product comes up to the next level, whatever it is, and fulfill the needs of the customer in a much better way. So brainstorming and identifying is the way to go. And the end of all this, what your product strategy really needs to bring out is a better value proposition for the customer, because that's what's going to count. And then we come to that last stage, which is something that is continuous, ongoing, and never stopping, which is the incremental and small improvements that you bring to your existing product. Okay, this exercise is done basically to optimize an existing product strategy. You're not really making a new product strategy. And therefore, I keep saying that your product strategy itself needs to be agile and adaptable. So you need to review the listing of the product and what are the product strategies that you have designed. Maybe that you missed something first. Maybe the market has changed. You don't need to tweak the product, but you need to tweak your strategy, various things. And you need to check whether the features that you are offering are compatible even today on a regular basis with the needs of the customer. To what extent is it meeting your business goals? I cannot stop emphasizing on this, because a lot of times I've seen people have a product strategy that doesn't care about the overall business goals. And then they keep complaining that a product is not good enough, product is not selling well, blah, blah. And then you need to continuously tweak the product and or the product strategy to gain an advantage in the market. There are times when you will tweak the product only so that you get a marketing advantage. There's something you will add, some small feature which gives you an opportunity to go and tell the market that, okay, I've done this and it's better than the other products available in the market. So no matter at what stage of the strategy you are, you need to make sure that your strategy, because there's no one strategy that will fit the entire product life cycle. And if it does, then go back to the drawing board because your product life cycle is different. So I already spoke about it, that you need to involve all the stakeholders because those multidimensional ideas will help you make better decisions, will help you make a more robust product strategy, and they will be aligned and synced with your plans and the business plans. And you need to get their buy-in because they will help you and support you whenever you face challenges. So product strategy should be agile and adaptable. It needs to be something that will respond to evolving market and changing customer choices very fast, very quickly. Okay. It should be designed, therefore, for flexibility, continuous learning, and experimentation. In the next episode on product strategy, I shall be looking into what a product vision is all about, because I believe that's the most important factor in creating a product strategy, what it entails, and what to consider and how to create a powerful product vision. One that is, as I said at the beginning of this talk, one that is inspiring, which is shared with all the stakeholders, which is ethical, which is concise, which is ambitious, and which is enduring. I hope you liked the session. Do send in your comments. I have received a lot of comments after the second episode, and I think I have replied to all. If anybody has not yet received a reply, I request you please resend it to me. Then there has been an oversight of some kind. In the meantime, have a great day. Talk to you in the next episode.